Hello, my name is Michael Garrick, and this is Popping Culture Video Game Reviews. My guest today is Kendra Begley. He's been a fan. He's been on the show before. Very, very, very good friend. We're going to be reviewing the Batman Arkham series. He has played these games recently. I have played them in the past, so we both know a good bit about it. I'm sure he knows a little bit more than I do. Um, so before we even deep dive, man, like let's set the time because this is what 20. The first one I want to say came out. It still came out in the 2010s, I believe, or just at the 2000 moments.
I think it came out in 2011, but for everybody to correction, it's Bingley.
I apologize.
Let me stop.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think it came out in the very first game, Arkham Asylum. I think it came out in 2011.
like so for anyone that doesn't remember or just wasn't alive at that time, if they're seeing us, like, can you explain to them why this series was just so much of a big deal?
When it came to uh I guess an action platformer type of game, it was, I mean, you were immersed into being Batman, being Bruce Wayne, you know. I think they said somewhat, or at some time they said that it took them almost 24 months even to get the details of the cape floating and flying and gliding the way it was supposed to, or even the damage. So I mean, they put a lot of detail in the graphics with it. But I mean, from the fighting to the story, it was one of those games where I think it started the whole thing uh, for society. Is games or video games art?
Yeah, I mean, this was the first time you felt like a billionaire beating up poor people.
Oh yeah,
Like
not
they
regretting it.
they they did like made like you felt like you were Batman, and I really can't put it more into words than that. Like, you saw the shows, you saw the movies, but you really felt like, okay, I'm beating up these people, and this all every punch felt like a punch.
Yeah, you got
Um,
mad whenever they broke your combo. It's like, all right, I'm gonna finish you, block everybody else, and just keep going on until you get
yes,
that guy out.
yes. Uh, last thing before we get into we're gonna start with Batman Arkham Origins. Uh, how many times have you seen this gameplay style duplicated, and do you believe they have done a good way? The people that try to copy it, do you think they do a good job?
The only ones I can say right now who probably did a great job when it came to like the format of like the fighting would probably be Marvel's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Um, Perfect. All right. I think what Arkham Asylum or Arkham Origins all the way through, which we'll talk about Arkham Origins and how that whole thing was kind of like whatever. But I want to say Spider-Man. I want to say games like Horizon Zero Dawn, God of War. Like they may have not done like the fighting, but they really grasped you when it came to the story.
Yes. Yes. Um, and we'll start with Batman Arkham Origins. Some people say it's the weak link out of
Garbage.
all. Huh?
I think sorry, it's just garbage.
Yeah, some people call it the wink link. Understand, people, before we say anything else, it is better than the mobile versions of the
Mm.
Batman games, but that's not saying much. But Batman Arkham Origins, it came out in 2013, so this is the Origins, but this is a later version of a later uh game. It was made uh just to tell a little bit more backstory, and also so they would have more time to make Arkham Knight. Um
Well, yeah,
this
because at
was
that time, I'm sorry. At that time, it was like every the video games were coming out every 2 years, and at the time, I think it was the PlayStation 4 that Arkham Knight was coming out for. They it was going to be like I think 3 years and a few months for it, so they had a whole nother team um of developers make Arkham Origins, which was good because if you know Arkham Origins, you know that they also had the comic book series, which I would love not, I mean, just go over just a tiny bit, but they had Arkham Origins, which would have been like year one. Between like years 2 to 4, there was nothing but comic books kind of like explaining everything about what's going through. And then from year 4 to like 7 was basically bringing in the Bat family, getting to know more about the villains. I don't know if you've seen, if you haven't, I know it should be on like HBO if you have that. Assault on Arkham.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Okay. That was even before Arkham Asylum. So yeah, so even though it kind of sucks having Arkham Origins because they needed more time and it didn't really like get flushed out, it's great if you actually look at the whole story. Okay, I see why they did it, you know.
Yeah. To go back what you said, Rocksteady, which is the main developer of these games, couldn't do it. They kind of took the Assassin's Creed route where, okay, we need more time making the good game, and they gave this to WB Games Montreal. Um, they apparently didn't have a long time to make this game either. Like it came out in 2011, but they had to make this game quick, which I think that's probably the reason. Besides, like I said, they knew that they had to release this before Arkham Knight came out, and I think they went into it with the mindset like we're gonna do just good enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
I mean, I think one of the milestones or like the greatness of the game of Arkham Origin is I'm gonna say the same thing with the Asylum 2, is the voice acting. Like Troy Baker, I think this other guy was named something Smith, but he was Batman. Troy Baker was I think he was Joker. If I
yeah,
wasn't right, he was probably like
yeah,
Deathstroke. He was a couple of those villains on there, and they did marvelous for a younger, not really trained, just getting out of high school, bat college, um, you know, thing. They did pretty good.
as a Batman fan, because I know we both are.
I was
Like
trying to find my bat shirt, man. I couldn't find the bat shirt.
it's all good. How noticeable is it when you don't hear Kevin Conroy?
Oh God, like I think now I'm okay with Troy Baker on a few things because I've seen him and play. Like I think he actually voices Assault on Arkham, but he plays a few things, so it's like But I grew up with Kevin Conroy. All right, that's my bats. Arkham, what is it? The animated series. It's my boy, And every time that he's in one of the games, when I hear him talking, I'm like, oh, okay, it's about to beat somebody.
Yeah, it's just programmed in my brain. So like to not hear him in this one and hear him in the other three games, it's just like, and it makes sense what you just said about like, okay, this is a younger person. Maybe what Batman doesn't
I don't
spoke.
think he
But
could do it. It wouldn't make sense.
true, true, true. But then again, if we could go back in time, we found out, damn, Morgan Freeman did sound like this forever. But yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So it, okay, we're gonna get to the villains of Batman Arkham Origins. Uh,
Oh,
you
the
like the
rogues.
villains or no?
I love all the villains.
Yeah,
Well, I think everybody loves Joker, of course, but I love all the villains because half of the time when you think about the villains, like especially with the Arkham series, like the main three games, now they bring them out a little bit on Origins too and the comic
yeah.
books. But the saddest one for me is two of them. It's what is it? Um, not Killer Frost. I can't think. Mr. Freeze, and his wife, and Killer Croc. Like when you really look at their stories, even off of like these video games, but if you really look at their stories, it's like Killer Croc is getting tested on every time he goes to. Well, at first it's Blackgate, which that was another terrible game. Blackgate's where he met Catwoman, but uh after they took everything out of Blackgate because they're pretty much saying that all these villains are pretty much like crazy, they put them into Arkham Asylum. And as soon as they did that, the doctors in Arkham Asylum, because the warden was allowing it to happen, they were getting tested on. Okay, I mean it was sad, but I mean I love them all, other
Yeah.
than Boomerang or whatever. I love them all.
Yes. You think making Black Mass the Joker, do you think you would have liked it more if Black Mass just stayed the Black Mass, or do you like the surprise finding out Black Mass was the Joker?
Nah, because even in the movies and the comic books, they make the dude garbage. Like I don't know what it is, but he's what you get if you can't get Two-Face. that's
Yeah.
the way I see that. Like he is what it is when you're tired of telling a Two-Face story, but
Yeah.
then he's always getting screwed over and all his shows, because you got this one and then you got the Jason Todd movie Red Hood. You got him in there, but he's still getting screwed over by Jason Todd. And then you have him in uh he's in another movie, but every time he's like the first big bad for like 2 minutes of whatever he's doing, and then it's like, all right, well, ladies and gentlemen, this is who it actually is. That's
Yes.
all he
Yes.
always is.
And it's just so taboo now. Like you expect this to happen. Um, I thought it actually I liked the change, but I was wanting to ask did you feel like making this game set during Christmas Eve, do you think that brought more atmosphere to it?
I think so because Arkham Knight's most definitely in Halloween. I
Yeah.
mean, when you look at his whole rogues gallery, I mean, it's basically they're waiting for Halloween to come every day.
I mean, they do have a villain called Calendar Man, so yeah.
Right, which in the comic books he actually has a more important factor in just being in the jail cell the entire time. Or he's in one of the games too, but he has more of an importance than what they did when they put him in the games. But there was so much more of the story that they had to do. They just put him in a jail cell.
For one second, man, I like don't get me wrong. Like we can act like Calendar Man important, but I still put him on the same level as Kite Man.
In a ways, but I can't remember what movie it was, and it might have been The Long Halloween that I just saw maybe like a month ago. They did a part one and part two Long Halloween basically for Harvey Dent. Really, really good movie origin type wise, because instead of it always like I love the action with Batman, but those movies literally just showed you like the detective sides, like you kind of see in the video game, like, all right, this little DNA, me, if I was in Batman's shoes, I don't know what the crap it is. Like I'm glad that he has $1 million mask to tell me, where to look, because I don't know. But yeah.
Nice, nice. Um, is anything else you would like to say about this one before we move to Asylum?
About origin,
Yep.
um, I think having both the Joker and also having um Bane as the two big baddies, because again they overshadowed Black Mass after they came out. I think Penguin is in there for a second, but those were the two baddies. It really established what Arkham's Asylum throughout was going to be. Now they kind of even uh, destroyed Bane's character after Origins. Like that was basically it for Bane. I mean,
Yeah.
you go from this is the Titan, and then they had like a Titan 1 or T1 or some mess like that, which was like a more potent form of the thing. And then you go straight from knowing everything from those years I was talking about earlier to now Arkham Asylum, and you basically can change Arkham Asylum from that to the year of the steroids, because it's nothing but Titan this, Titan that, Titan him, yeah, I got nothing else other than that. I mean, it's basically just setting it up,
Yes.
which is interesting because I mean, the Arkham Asylum already came out, but it's good that they did that, to kind of help
Yeah.
out, flesh out the story.
Yes. Also, I'm always a big fan of when they make Bane smart because he's a smart guy. Whenever they make him big and stupid, it's like, no, he's not a dumb man at all. He found the Batcave. You
But I
know?
like how they kind of, well, even in the or not older games, but the Asylum games and stuff like that. I mean, he's a giant behind brute, but he's still like a genius. Like he may have forgot how I really didn't like that part, or the electric goggle, or not goggles, but gloves that no one really cared about. They only did it to announce, what was that, the Wii U, the Wii Switch 1 to 2.
Yeah.
I didn't care for it. Um, but yeah, I wish they kind of kept him in that form, how he was just like a more buff dude but stronger, instead of like a Hulk giant with a small peanut head.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. He did have like the Vin Diesel thing going on.
Oh yeah.
Uh, so then we get to what started it all. The game that, like, without this, you don't have any of these other games. The 2007 Rocksteady Studios masterpiece, Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yes.
Bro, okay, the year's 2007. I'm in my sophomore year of high school. You are in middle school, correct?
Yes, yeah, I was.
Uh, do you remember the commercial for this game?
Talking about when they were driving to the
Yeah,
site. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. That commercial, like going from like what I was playing, like Jack and Dexter 2,
Oh
and
man. Oh dude, if you ever do a
the
review of that,
yeah,
yo, complete every all three of those games except
check, me and Raph did though. Check it out though. It's a good review.
oh yeah. Sorry. I just
Yeah. No,
like
no, I just didn't want to be like, oh no, we'll do it again. I just like, but check it out. And guys, please check it out when you get a chance. But just going from that, and then I played a few other games, but that trailer, and then you had the nostalgia of Batman, just seeing both of that together, and then you heard um Mark Hamill's Joker laugh. And it was just they nailed it. Like that Joker, I mean, that commercial sold the game so well, especially if you were a DC fan.
yeah, but there's one part in Asylum when we get there, I want to talk about that almost like my middle school behind got scared. Because I thought something broke, but we'll get to that part.
Yes, but that, like I said, I remember the commercial clearly just because I was like, this is gonna be good. Like it was no way around it. And then this game took like 4 years to make because this was supposed to come out apparently on the PlayStation 2, and they had to wait and put it on the PlayStation 3. So this game
Yep.
actually was supposed to come out sooner. So that's another reason why I think it's so well. And then we go back to the voice acting. To hear Kevin Conroy, man, that's him and Mark Hamill. That
At that point, it was like a few years too, because we haven't heard Kevin do anything Batman for a few years, because like even the DC movies weren't out. I mean, they don't really use him at all, but um we haven't heard nothing from Conroy, or Conroy.
yeah, like it was. So you play the game. You finally get the game. You play the game. I'm not gonna ask you to remember the first time you ever played it, but
Oh, I remember.
okay. Were you really surprised about the story at all, or did you
Yeah,
already know about the story? Okay.
I mean, I knew the villains because I'm a Batman nerd for it, but I was pretty surprised about the whole story all the way until what was it? The only thing I hate, the only thing I hate until this year when you told me that you wanted to even do a podcast for the three games. The one thing I hated doing was getting all the collectibles. And when it came to the Chattering Teeth and Arkham Asylum, the Riddler trophies and stuff that you have to get. Arkham City. Hate that. Hate all of that. But wanted to make sure everything was right. um, yeah. The gameplay was great, and the story that they had was still it was kind of rugged a little bit. You can tell that they had flushed it out as best as they could for the time. Of course, I was young, so anything that you threw out in front of me, as long as I can throw a battering at somebody who looks like he murdered like 3 children, then I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Um, the setting of the game in Arkham Asylum, um, like I said, we're not trying to look above anything. Of course, we'll see the second two games being more focused on open world, but setting the game exactly in Arkham Asylum, uh, of course, we wouldn't pay attention to it back then. But looking at it now, do you think they should have did more, or do you think that what also makes this game a masterpiece because less is more?
So one of the things I didn't like about Arkham Asylum, to answer your question, was I felt like, and I got why they did it, but I felt like even the walls were so close on this giant 6 foot Batman. Like everything was just so closed up. And even the fighting, you'll have like three, guys that you're fighting and stuff like that, which was good, but it was so, or at least with the updated version, it was so kind of like, wonky at times. And eventually, when you get further into the island, of course, you're getting more equipment, getting more stuff, or whatnot. It seems like you're fighting a guy, and then next thing you know, there's some guy who explodes running at you. And if it's not him, one of Poison Ivy's spores is just shooting out some like poison dart or something like that. So it was like anytime that you were on the open field, because it was so small, you couldn't glide. There was really no car because you rammed it into Bane. You had to like go from one house, literally run, fight a little bit, keep running until you get to another house. And then when you get inside the house, because everything was still so new, it was like trying to even use like detective mode at times was kind of like it wasn't as good as it was when it was being more developed in City and Arkham Knight. So I mean, gameplay wise and story wise, it's great, but there was a few things where it was like I bet you if they could go back, they would completely changed over again, the whole, just overhaul it.
Of course. Um, I'm a big Metal Gear Solid fan. I even like Splinter Cell sometimes. How'd you feel about the stealth?
I loved it, but yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I felt like you had to use it more on Arkham Asylum than you did in the other ones. Because again, as soon as you see one person, Batman was heavy. Like compared to Batman on Arkham Asylum and Batman Arkham Knight, he's a feather. All right, like the dude's just he's like that dude from Guardian of the Galaxies, the guy with the little pin thing where he's whistling. That's how Batman is, man. But Batman on Arkham Asylum, I feel like you have to hide, throw a battering, get some glue on the ground, and hopefully they go over there and knock them down. Because as soon as you get over there, if they break your combo in that game, it's not like the other two games where you get hit and you can still block this one. You get hit with this one, you might get hit like 3 more times.
Yeah, you're 100% right. In Arkham Knight, Batman went vegan, and yeah, yeah, you're right though. He does become the mass in that one. Just the way he can move. Uh, so the Joker, like they really established, I believe, the Joker relationship in this game. Like it's, I think it's really the glue that makes the storyline make sense. The Joker and Batman relationship. Uh, if you hypothetically, if you could take the Joker out of it, what villain would you substitute him for?
Mm, well, first, I think on Origins, they kind of fleshed him out a bit more, even though I still hate the story. I feel like they fleshed out the relationship between them. But if I was to replace him with anybody else, God, it's kind of hard. You want to say like someone brand new that you don't know, because no one, like every time you ever hear a story of Joker dying or Joker no longer in there, there's a giant power pool now. Like you either have the Riddler trying to take control of the city, Penguin trying to take over the city, Bane, you have whatever. But it's like as soon as Joker comes back, well, now they're back to where they're at. I don't know if there's an actual villain unless they come outside of the city and it's like someone from his past that he used to train with when he was learning his martial arts, or maybe the quarter, you know what, the Court of the Owls. If they somehow could have done that, but I don't even think the Court of the Owls was even like a thing at that point. But if it was, then yeah, that could have been something.
That's good. I think he's irreplaceable. Like I think if you don't have the Joker in this game, it just doesn't work.
Well, it's not a
That's
Joker game. That's why they kept bringing him back.
yeah,
You
I agree.
know, you say it's
Um,
Batman, but it's featuring Joker on
yeah,
all the freaking games,
yes,
or platform games.
yeah. DC's like we know who sells merch. Um,
Yeah,
how'd you feel about the Scarecrow missions?
I was about to say that, man. That first time, I can't remember where I was walking, but I was just Batman. I think I had just got done with something, and you're going down this elevator shaft, I think it was. And as soon as you get down, the game just starts glitching. And I remember this when I was young. I started freaking out because at that point, I think I played this game. I don't even think it was on the PlayStation 3 when I first played it. I think it was like on no, it was on the PlayStation 3. It wasn't remastered to Xbox yet. Um, I'm over here freaked out about like that red line that they had at that point where it was like the line of death or the red line of death, whatever. So as soon as the game started glitching, normally PlayStation just you just see that big blue screen. It just says error, game couldn't load, and then you just press it back, and that was whatever. Well, you see just a bunch of blocks just going on. You're freaking out. And the next thing you know, it's just this huge scarecrow, dude, that you have to stealthily run away from. I didn't like that you had to flash a light into him. I didn't really get that point.
Yeah,
Maybe it was like some type of metaphor for him trying to fight back the fear toxin, but I really didn't understand the whole you have to get to a light thing. I didn't understand that. But when you see, I think it was the first one. No, was this the same one? Is the very first one where you saw the two body bags?
I want to say yes.
I think so. I think this was the one, because if that's so, then there was one thing in the first Scarecrow one where I thought it was funny, and it was when you went back into the nightmare world, and in this little box, there's like a Batman going crazy. So it's you, but there's another Batman going crazy, and he's all just like, he's like doing some weird crap. But if you ever take the time, which I love this, I do this in all games. Even Mortal Kombat, like I might be getting my butt kicked, but I'm looking at the background at this giant eating a giraffe or something. I don't know. Like I love when they have extra things that is not important to your story, but they they did it. They still put that in there.
Nice, nice. Um, yeah, I try to pay attention to that too. Like, and sometimes you just be like, why? Who choice was this? Like, did it somebody just be like, they'll never know.
Like who
Um,
did this? Like even another game, sorry, off of it. Resident Evil 2, there's this one where you're just riding your horse and you see this one guy trying to like knock the boot off of his horse because something happened with him, and the horse just like kicks him. You're just like, whoa. And the horse just runs away. They don't have to put things like that in games, but I love that they do, because it kind of keeps your attention. It kind of like, instead of you speed running Arkham Asylum, you're now looking at this wall and you're like, wait a minute, that looks weird. And now you got, an extra skin or extra something, or maybe you're seeing something, for the first time. It's just interesting.
um, remember this is the first game, so what do you think of the gadgets the first time around?
Mm. Um, I mainly just used the battery until I upgraded it to like, I think 3 or whatever. I mainly used the battle ring. Oh goodness. I tried to use the, not the grapple gun, but the one that shoots the, I can't remember the
Yeah,
name. Hated the Killer Croc one on this one. I didn't care for his, look, I feel like he's a very sad character when you look at his background, but that one part in Arkham Asylum, screw that dude, all right? Where you have to like walk real slow trying to blow up something or do something. Screw that. I had loved using it, but as soon as you hit that thing, next thing you know, and you have to throw a battering at him. It was intense as a kid, and it was still kind of intense now, but you know it now, you know.
exactly. And it's just you never can do the same first time gameplay. Like, that's no matter what you play. The first time you play
Yep.
a game, you can fall in love with it, play it over and over again, but it's nothing like that. That first time we're just like, whoa, okay, this is gonna be challenging.
Oh yeah.
Um, you brought it up. It sounded like you had a bad experience. How tough was the Riddler trophies?
Mm,
I don't. I can't help you with this one. I have no idea about the Riddler trophies. I didn't care to try to finish them.
all right. So because we're still talking about the other two games, I'll just say the Riddler trophies for Arkham Asylum, they sucked because after you completed them, the only thing you get is a bunch of like recordings from his
Oh,
therapy sessions and stuff, and maybe a little bit more information about the Riddler. I think you get that the first time he even starts talking, but after you get it, that's it. You don't fight him or nothing. You just got it, and the game's like, you know, it's kind of pointless. But if you want the extra stuff, like if you're like such a big Batman person and actually listen to that stuff, which I'm not even gonna lie to you, I don't listen to it. I just like getting the collectibles now. I'm trying to get my money's worth off of it. Um, it's pointless. It really is. I hate the Riddler trophies. I think there was like, uh, don't quote me, but I think it was like 200 in the first one, 400 in Arkham City. Screw that dude, because it's the same freaking thing. I mean, I think some happens, but and then it goes back to like 200 and something on night. And then
uh,
Origin is kind of the same thing, but I never really finished Origin because they stopped even trying to do remasters on Origin. It was basically a placeholder for Arkham Knight.
yes,
So no one.
yes, yes.
I
Yeah.
don't know what little me did back then, because I know little me did not try any of the trophies until last month or two.
Okay. Nice, nice. Um, just watching this whole story play out for Arkham Asylum. Is there any character you feel like they could have took out?
An Arkham Asylum.
Yes. Is there any character you're like, this person served no purpose to be there?
Killer Croc. Uh, shoot, next to the Riddler. Uh, no, no, because if you don't, no one really looks at the comic books, man. Like I love the comic books, and no one really looks at all the movies because who's paying for all these subscriptions? So unless you really look at uh there's nobody that they could take out, because every major villain that they had on that island, Joker used for something. Like it was something that he needed. Either he needed Poison Ivy's whatever, he needed the steroids from Bane. It was always something.
Yes,
So
yes.
uh,
And the introduction to Harley Quinn in this game is very quick. I like after like I remember just being like I thought they would have waited to put her to introduce her, but she comes in the game very early and stays throughout the whole game.
she does. Do you know she's voiced by Timmy Turner?
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was always cool.
yeah, cute girl, cute girl.
Love
Uh,
you. All right.
yeah. Um, but yeah, that is wild. And like, yeah, um, we get towards the end, and how everything wraps up. The first time you did that last boss level, how long did it take you, or did you get it the first time?
Mm, so being honest here, when when it first came out, I actually chickened out on Arkham Asylum. I thought it was too dark. Things was always running at me. By the time Poison Ivy was going through her stuff, I didn't finish it. When I picked it up maybe like a year, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and I finally finished it. It only took me one time. Now I don't
Yes.
know why last month it may have took me like 4 times. Don't know why. I mean, I knew how to beat Joker. It's a very easy complex, or it's a very easy Jack and Dexter type of fight, when it comes to their bosses. So but I thought it was nice, kind of dumb. Like, okay, so going off topic, Batman gets hit with the toxin that makes everything Bane. And for everybody else, it's like, yeah, do this. But Batman gets hit with it and he's like, no. And it just stays, it just stops. And everybody's kind of like shocked, like how dude, you got pumped up with some steroids. Like that's not a mental break there. Like that's a drug, you know?
Yeah, that's the best because of comics.
It's crazy. It's
That was
crazy.
that's one of the best examples of where the plot says he doesn't.
Yeah, yeah. Like we're at the end here. Just give it to him. Just do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, we're not writing more stuff. We like like this is it. We're not writing more. This is it's Batman because it's Batman. Write it down. They'll believe it.
Because it's
Uh,
Batman.
yes. Um, is there anything else you want to say about this one before we move to the next game?
Uh, no, no, I think that's it.
All right, and we'll move to Batman Arkham City.
Now
Uh,
with I'm sorry, go on.
only thing I was gonna say is truly I could be wrong. Uh I think it's the best one in the franchise, in my opinion, in the series, in my opinion. Um that's what I was gonna say. You can go ahead.
I think yeah, I mean, everybody agrees on that one. I still think by far that, not maybe not graphic wise, but I still think that that's game and story wise probably the best out of the entire series. But what I was about to say, between Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, in the comic books they explain even more what Quincy, well, whatever his name was, the Mayor Quincy, or he was the warden and then he became mayor. I think that's
Yeah.
how that was. And how he really hated, or it was so many things happening in Blackgate, and I think they had to shut down Blackgate. They put Arkham Asylum up. Arkham Asylum was, it was destroyed from the last game, so they sectioned off a part of Arkham City, or made it Arkham City, section off a part of Arkham or Gotham, and that's where all the villains roam. But in the comics, it kind of like puts a lot more of like a detail of what was going on, why he was doing it, way before Hugo Strange even. I mean, he was part of this whole plan, but basically what they did was move all the villains so Gotham can eventually be normal. But
Yep.
no,
Yeah. It's one, don't get me wrong, it's my favorite one of the series, but it makes no sense. It's if you say it out loud twice, you're like, this is just a dumb idea. This is
it's like
stupid.
Batman Hush Hitler or whatever you want to call it, because I mean, the dude was just gonna put all the villains together and nuke them. I mean, that was basically his plan. Like, let's just kill them off like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just like let's give them their little city. They can take care of themselves. Never explains how to get food. I'm pretty sure there's no farming land or anything there. Don't know how to get food. But just literally like we're gonna put all these together and they gotta go for what they know. You had a speed ticket, you better spend 3 days in there, wish you the best. Um it it yeah, like I said, it's something not to think about. Um
It's dumb.
yeah, very
It's,
much.
sorry, I love the story, but when you really think hard about it, uh, there's a lot of continuity errors.
Yes.
Especially with, I think there was one thing with Origins that I actually had to look up on this one because I was like, I remember this, but in Origins they were saying something like it would take like no, they were saying on Batman's Arkham City that for his grapple gun, it was supposed to take like 6 months. Like they were just now developing it. I don't know how, because when you look at the timeline, it's been like 9 years, 10 years in there, but he had it in Arkham Origins and it was just fine. We're great. And I don't know if it was like the Mark speed thing where he could just boost up and glide. I don't know if that's what they were talking about, but they were acting like even with just the grapple gun itself, it was like this big and important thing that they haven't done yet. So
Yes. My favorite thing about this game is the beginning because it looks like they have so many guards, so much protection, and Batman is already been trapped by Hugo Strange in the beginning. Hugo Strange knows who he is. Uh, Batman survives. He gets into the city. What does he do? He gets the bat suit because he can fly. He can afford to get a plane to fly the suit over Arkham City, and no one noticed. It's not cloaked. It's not. It's like nobody's like, "Hey, man, did y'all see that plane?" Nothing. It's just literally he shoots down a could be a weapon or something. Like it just showed like this city, no one cares. Like you got a bunch of villains in the city. You can get anything you want in the city. Um, and you just gotta go for broke.
the guy that when they were getting arrested, or not arrested, but going through the little chain gate trying to get section off into Arkham City, the guy who looks at Batman, he's just like, or Bruce Wayne at the time, he was just like, bang, gotcha,
Yeah,
whatever. That was
dead
Deadshot.
shot. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they weren't trying to be light on any of these things. They were just like,
There was
just so
like,
you know.
but so many people would kind of like miss that. Just something simple like that. And I
Yeah.
I think I think Troy Baker voiced
Mhm.
Death Shot on that one. Yeah, I
Yep.
think he did.
Yep. Yeah, I was just like, man, they're not there. I mean, I get it if you don't know the comics, you don't know the comics. But when I saw it, I was just like, yeah, they're not trying to make this not on purpose at all. Like this is some hard fan service.
Yeah.
Um, bringing that up, I also do like the other characters, the non-important characters, just been like, Bruce, we're gonna give you a hard time. Bruce, we're gonna mess you up. Bruce, and the whole time, he's handcuffed to the front, so of course he can do more than if he was handcuffed to the back. And just to see Batman just being like, oh, God damn it, I'm with these
Yo,
poor
he was
people.
talking to that. Yeah, he was talking to that one guy though. He was like, just follow me. Like, don't. He was like saying something like, just do it. And the guy's like, what am I gonna do? Listen to some rich man?
Which I mean, he can't lie. I mean, like I haven't been around a billionaire yet, and I think I would not. I would still treat him like a person, but at the same time, if a billionaire was like, "Hey man, that Mac chicken's really good," but like you had options, sir. Don't fucking tell me the Mac chicken is good. When let's switch places and see how many Mac chickens I have to eat.
Chickens is what this dude just said. All right.
It's not called Mac chicken this whole time.
I, hmm. Guess I'm not that poor. Let me
Oh, good for
stop.
you. Good for you, buddy. My boy was like, I don't know, is this Chick-fil-A over here? Um, so the first thing, Catwoman has Harvey Dent hanging upside down in acid, like Harvey Dent needs any more acid on him. How'd you like that first mission?
I loved it. First off, props to the voice actor, Vicky Azula. Props to her, man. Anytime I hear her, I'm like, oh, this is either going to be very funny or very seductive, and with, or you know what I'm trying to say, and with Catwoman, perfect on that. Like I thought it was a great way to start it. Because I think the game, well, I don't remember, I think her part, you were trying to like rob somebody or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, and then he takes you to the courthouse, and that's when Batman eventually comes in there. But I like the whole thing. But you kind of, with that one, this is where it's kind of, well, you're already Batman, so you already know, okay, she's important, I'm important. She's not going to die yet. The
Yeah.
game just started, you know.
It's like I said, it's like I said, you don't come here for the story, you come here for the gameplay.
You just come here
Um,
to fight.
how'd you like going from Arkham Asylum to going to this? How'd you like the fighting?
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was a little bit better. The only thing I didn't like about the the fighting was good. The only thing I didn't really like was the whole city itself. Like, I love the story and I love the side missions, but I felt like there was just so much water that if your grapple gun messed up, or you glided wrong and didn't catch the road or something like that, you just fallen. And then later on in the game, you're weaving around sniper red dots. It wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot to do. But I loved the fighting though. And I think they did a little bit better with the stealth, but it felt like the AI for the bad guys got a little bit smarter too.
Way smarter in my opinion. Like I thought they really showed it. Like okay, we can't have them being big and stupid. Like we have to, because if the first one, it seemed like they just went in one pattern and that was it.
Yeah.
Like
These, hey, did you hear that? Go check on that. And then like if one of the guys go down, hey, go check on whatever. Ah, the bat's over here. And then you got to make sure, no one has like a radio, or anyone didn't, hear you. And then they had different, I mean, they had like, I think in the Arkham Asylum, they had somebody with electricity. I don't remember, but you had like different types of
yes.
fighters on there.
It did the yes, in the first in Arkham Asylum, we forgot to bring that up, but I did feel like in Arkham Asylum they did have some like Adam West dialogue compared to this one, where I feel like now they were trying to make sure because you can see it, you can like poach like above like two bad guys and they'll have like a real conversation in this game.
Yeah.
And one and I saw them make a meme out of it, but I'm sure if you well you probably heard it while you were playing it, but like I looked it up on YouTube. Like it's one part of this game where like towards the end where these two bad guys talking, um, and they're literally just talking about how much like they miss their kids,
Yep.
and like and then Batman just comes out of nowhere and you just beat the hell out of these guys.
But when I play the game, there's a lot of times I never really, and I was talking about the detailed, but when it comes to the bad guys, I don't really care what you gotta say, but they have lives. Like, they're doing this to feed their families, or to pay off the mafia, or they have to go into Joker's gang because Joker did something for him and now he's in it, or something. And then
Yeah.
this $1 billion dude just comes up and just puts you into shock, just takes you out, throws a sharp behind shuriken shaped knife battering at you. All right. And what are you going to do? You just got this MK or whatever. Like, there's that you're not even trained for. They just they just threw it in your hands that you're not
Yes.
even trained for.
Yes, and guys, if you don't believe us, please look it up on YouTube. I know I did because I was like, no, I remember because I saw a meme and I was like, no, I remember this dialogue. Like I remember. So it's others, but I can't remember. It's others just like these bad guys really having heart-to-heart conversations. Still bad guys, never acting like they were good guys, but just being like, I sure can't wait to see my mom and just like
And then what makes it worse is, unless I mean, you take down one of them. What makes it worse is with those two, you fight them, and then when you get to the last one, they do the slow motion like finisher. Like, that was the dude talking about his family, and you just slow motion put him in the shock.
yes.
Money.
Yes. I wanted to make sure we just talk about that. The last guy you hit in these games, ladies and gentlemen, is a slow motion like kick, punch, whatever. You could tackle somebody in slow motion.
It could be a battering.
Yeah. Do you think that was I found myself liking it more than I thought I would. Like, do you think it makes the game different if it wasn't in there?
Um, Yeah, I think it would. I like to know that this is for me because I would just keep tapping and then I just look stupid. But for me, like seeing that last punch, like or battering or um I don't know knockout, whatever. I like seeing that because not only does it tell me, okay, all right, I got those points. Maybe you're working on like with Arkham, what is it with Arkham City? I think it's City. It's either Arkham Knight or Arkham City. I don't remember which one, so it doesn't matter. You have to do like a whole combo, like not just combo. Like you have to have like I think it's called like it's like a 100 combo type of thing. So like you have to punch a dude, throw a chair, grapple him, battering, throw glue bomb down, shock him. Like you have to do all this stuff, and you have to continue the combo without killing everybody and without it being broken. And that's the only way that you can do it. Like you have to know every like thing on there. I think that might be night though. I don't know. I think that might be night.
Nice. Uh, I remember the penguin mission so well.
I hate the wings.
It, the penguin mission is so cool just because like everybody has their own territories, but I still think penguin had like the best territory. Just because it fit him so well. Like it's a
Oh, it's a
club to
club.
start.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
like it being a club just made it the perfect setting, and he's just presented as a bad guy. Like everybody else, I guess they tried to like, well, except for the Joker, of course, but everybody else, I feel like they tried to like loosely make you understand them. The Penguin is just like, nah, man, I'm a bad guy. I've been a bad guy ever since you met me, like this.
Dude, you brought some trauma. I forgot about that shark.
Yeah, I was about to get. Bro, ladies and gentlemen, like I keep saying YouTube, play the game, but if you can look at the clips of how you die from that shark, it's like at
Ooh,
least 9 different death animations, and they're
no.
all like great.
So, ooh, yeah, yeah.
Yes. Um, After you beat the shark, of course, and beat the goons, when you get with the penguin, um,
But don't
did
forget
you?
about the dinosaur.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forgot about the dinosaur. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
a
right.
little jump, like, whoa, what? I have to fight a dinosaur now. Batarangs action.
Yes. Yes.
It's just a
Uh,
small little thing.
yes. I was thinking more of, and maybe it was all. It might have been Origins. I apologize if it was Origins, but I thought it was Arkham City. Is this a game where Penguin has nah, I can't remember the name. V5 Fum?
Oh, you talking about Solomon Grundy?
Solomon Grundy. Is this the game he has Solomon
Yeah,
Grundy
this
in
it,
this?
uh, it was City that this
Yes,
game he
yes.
knocks it
So
down and he's
yes,
like, take fight my boy here. He's waiting, whatever.
yes. I thought that was the
I
best
don't know
Easter
my
egg
name. Something
because
something.
he was never in a commercial. So that was an Easter egg that just like when you just like, whoa, okay, all right, this is a deep cut because he's not even in the comics a lot.
I don't remember. Well, I mean, and even in the comic, when he is in the comics, he basically has like the same thing as like I shouldn't say basically because I know there's gonna be a lot of comic people on your thing that's like, but this guy, if it's not for the last episode,
Yeah,
this guy,
it's all good.
um, he's kind of like Doomsday in a way where you can't kill him the same way. Like once you kill him one way, that way just doesn't work. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, but just to see him in the game, and then like I thought he looked. Yeah, I mean, of course, with Arkham Knight, the graphics got better, but I thought he still looked good. Like I still think this is a good looking game in retrospect. But and then you get to the Penguin, and then he gives you information, and then you get to Mr. Freeze because Mr. Freeze is like the best boss level of this game.
Oh, who? Yeah, you know what? The more and more I be thinking, and I just played this game, but see, since I've already played it a million times, when I see Mr. Freeze now, I'm like, all right, 50 different ways how to. I know like a million different ways how to kill him, or not kill him, but knock him out, so I can get behind him or do this or do that. But that very first time, where before Google was a very important thing, or I think we had like it wasn't Game Informers, but you either had to wait for like I think it was like G4 for them to tell
Yeah,
you like this
yeah,
is the way you can beat whatever. It was traumatizing because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spray this glass right here and maybe throw a shuriken at the or battering at the wall and wait for him to come. But guess what? I already did that. So now as soon as it happens, he has like this program where it just blocks it. Or if I try to come behind him now, I can't do that because I just did it. So it was like one of those things that I don't think any other game has ever done when it came to a boss fight. Could have been. I mean, most boss fights at that point, you use what the game had gave you. But this one really was like, look, we gave you all this equipment. We want you to use all this equipment, and you have to find the perfect way to use all that equipment.
Yes.
Loved it.
And I'm really a sucker for good dialogue with anything, games, movies, TV shows, no matter. We we went over this, but Batman is poison. Like he is poison in this game, I believe. Oh
Oh
no,
yeah,
he's
he
not.
gets. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's poisoned in this game because Arkham
yeah,
Knight is. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's
yeah, yeah.
poisoned in this game. So when you first meet Mr. Freeze, he's actually like, "Hey, I'm gonna die. Like I need your help." And just to see that dialogue where, of course, they're not friends at all. They're not friends. They're not
I
associates. They're
know,
just like,
I can't even do Kevin Conroy. Like,
yeah, yeah. But like they both like Mr. Freeze knows he needs Batman to do this one thing. Batman also knows like I need Mr. Freeze. And it's not a friendly conversation, but it's still a conversation where it's like, don't screw me over, don't screw me over. And then Mr. Freeze, of course, screws him over.
which was messed up because if I remember right, you got hit by the Joker. He put the thing in you, kicked you out the window,
Yep.
and as you're falling, he's like, "Hey, go to Mr. Freeze, whatever." You go and try to find Mr. Freeze. He's not there. You figure out that he gets taken by the Penguin, and you finally you finally get to him. And even then, like he has no armor, he has nothing. He was just in a box,
Yep.
being presented as like an animal or something. He's still like, screw you, Batman, I'd rather you die. And Batman's just like like he took his little heart thing that kept him cold, is whatever. And he's just like, I'm not playing today, Freeze. I'm not playing. No, you can go get it. I just need you to go get something. But
Yeah. And it's just and like it's so like great. Like dialogue is a great for a video game, it's just great performances all around. Just because y- Batman doesn't kill. We made that clear. Batman doesn't kill, but Batman's about to die too. So he's like, I gotta scare the shit. I need you to get you this close to death, and then like, all right, now I need you to do what I need to do, and it's done very well. Um, and then we get to of course, the Joker's the main person. You remember the Joker thugs with one arm?
yeah, his name was
It was it
Hammy
was
or Hammer or something.
it was twins, right?
Yeah, they're Siamese twins, but in the comic books, they also get they can be attached or not attached. It just depends on whatever the Joker feels like.
Nice, nice. I thought they were, it looked like somebody the Joker would have in his crew. Um, to get to the last fight in this game, do you
Oh,
think it was?
before that, whoa, you're missing out like a huge portion, not just any of the main missions or side missions, but uh meeting up with Ra's al Ghul,
Yeah, yeah,
the trials.
yeah.
Like that that was probably my next to the Mr. Pig, the Mad Hatter side missions, the main story though. That was
Mad
probably
Hatter,
the
yes.
most.
I want to make sure we talk about the Mad Hatter. Yes,
Yep. You have to get all that before you get to the last part because that
yes,
that was crazy. Because he
yes.
still had to get, what was it, Mr. Freeze. Oh, this is before Harley stole it from him and then
Yeah,
shot down the helicopter. Um, what was it? Mr. Freeze still needed like one more component to make the formula that Joker was looking for, that Batman's here for. And he's like, oh, I can make this one thing, but it's going to take me like umpteen years. And Batman's like, oh, I know some guy who has that now because he's been alive for like, I don't know, 600, 1,000 years. And now he's tricking his, in some continuities, baby mama into helping him get this formula by fighting her dad and going through these trials. Like the trials are great. I mean, you're just gliding and then fighting. Like you get to like some type of panel that's floating in the desert, but it's still amazing. And then you get to the Ra's al Ghul boss fight where he's just like this giant sand thing, and then it goes like back and forth from like this reality world to this imagination world where he's like this big giant dude, and you're just fighting. It's cool.
Yes, it's very much cool. Like it it's so left field because you Ray Shagul in the comic book, even I believe in the comics, he's he's a myth, he's a magical character, of course. Like he's it's not there's no place you go and live forever, but like he's also played very serious. Like he's played like a very much like a prince more than anything or a king. So to see him in this and they put like that background or that scenery, it really lets you know like we're on the outside. Like this isn't about Arkham City. This is about something way bigger.
And he's super smart. I mean, in some books they say that the only person, it sounds dumb, but the only person who's ever beaten him in checkers or chess was the Joker. Like no one ever outsmarted him when it came to that, other than some dude who is just that random. But even in the Arkham City game itself, he ended up being the whole mastermind behind the whole plan, anyways. You know,
Yeah, true, true. And then we get to Mad Hatter, bro. I didn't do drugs back then, but boy, Mad Hatter, God, that mission is amazing.
but it's like what I wish the Scarecrow missions were.
True,
Like
true.
that's if they had that in Arkham Asylum, I think I would have appreciated Scarecrow more in there. If we were just fighting a bit more dudes, and it's just like, I mean, you're basically what he calls Alice. It,
Yes, and just to know he's he's not all the way there, but he's still beating up goons is amazing.
shoot, the opening. Dang. You open up the little tea shop or whatever, and it's just a giant table of nothing but like dead guys. I think they're dead. I don't know, wearing masks. And then it goes into a black screen, and you're just trying to shake, like you're moving some on your control. I think you're tapping like extra some mess like that. And you wake up and you think that it's like Nightmare Batman, but he's just like wearing some rabbit mask, and you're just KOing these people. You're just taking them out.
Yes. Yes. Another thing I meant to bring up in the first game, and I'll just actually combine both of them, comparing the first game to the second game. They may have did it in Origins, but I can't remember. The scene where they show, where they bring up Batman's parents dying. Did you like it more in Arkham, or in the first or the second game?
It's kind of like bringing up Spider-Man's origin. I've seen it so many times. You can put millions of dollars in the detail. You can have Martha dying on the left side or the right side. I, the details look good, but I already know how would happen. Like I don't need to see it a million times. You know, we can
Yeah.
kind of like go past that or maybe make like a comment on that, but and especially in these games, they make sure to put a lot of effort. And I don't know if they're just trying to waste time on the games or not, but they seem like they put a lot of emphasis on his parents, as if, I mean, starting off, when you think about even Batman, it's not him just losing his parents. He just doesn't want Gotham to feel the same pain he did. But eventually, even in the Arkham series, it turns out his biggest fear, if you know anything about the VR games, his biggest fear isn't even really how his parents or what Gotham is. It's mainly being the one killing his friends. Like he's afraid of that. He never wants that to happen. He never wants to go uh crazy.
Yeah.
So
And then we get to the end. The and you can say the Joker won in this game. Like you could really like some people could say that. Like some people could put out and say the Joker won. What do you think?
I say before the ending credit, or not ending credit, the last thing, um I was very shocked to know it was Clayface, because I didn't even pick up that Joker was healthy. I didn't pick it up until Batman was like, wait a minute. Like Joker said something to him like, oh, you're playing the old two Joker gag or some mess like that, he said. But I didn't even pick that up. I just thought Joker put some more makeup on or something. I didn't care. I was just fighting. Um, I thought that was crazy. And then Talia dies, and he picks up the sword and just starts chopping at Clayface, just goes crazy on her, or go crazy on him just to get the antidote. But I don't think anybody really won on that one. Uh, with any of Joker's plans, it's one of those things where he's trying to like prove to Batman something, but it's really nothing to be proved. And at the end of the day, when Batman wins, or just like now, Joker dies, there's never really a winner, just a bunch of death.
Hmm. seeing Batman, I mean, seeing Joker die in this game, it did not make me think that he wouldn't come back for the third one. Like it in no moment where I was like, they're gonna use a memory, they in which they do. We'll get to the third one. It's like, but just showing that that he's carrying the Joker out at the end of the game, did it make you go, okay, I guess that's it for that character? Or did you already have a mind that like, no, this Mark Hamill's way too much important to this game. They're gonna bring him back somehow.
I thought they couldn't do another game without Joker. And you asked earlier if you think the game, if they possibly, I think it was, could they possibly have, or could there have been another villain other than Joker? It's this is as much of a Joker story as it is a Batman story. And there was no possible way of these games, at least to me, that they couldn't. I mean, they were even trying hard. Like as soon as the what was it, year two was coming up, and they started making trailers for Arkham Origins that people thought was Arkham um, Knight. Even then, we just knew it was going to be some type of Joker. But what was it? Mark Hamill told us even online. I think it was on Twitter, Facebook, all interviews. He was not in there. Like he never lied. He was just like, I'm not even in there. I don't know, like whatever. And it turned out to be some other dude, Troy Baker, to be Joker, which he did pretty good. But then the thing that annoyed me the most was an Arkham Knight. That's the thing that annoyed me, because it was like, we know you're coming back. Stop saying it. We know you're doing it again. There's no way that you're not going to come back. Like what are we going to do? Two-Face now? Well,
Yeah.
like right now, Two-Face at that point is now Black Mask. What are we going to do?
Yes.
Oh,
It's it's really one of those things that like it's not the same with Marvel in the next Spider-Man movie. Like Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire may not be in it because in theory, you could just have three different Tom Hollands from different universes. Like you can play the card however you want. Plus, they may not want to give Tobey Maguire 60 million. I don't know why they wouldn't, but they may not want to.
yeah.
So it's different. But like you said, like they have to put the Joker in the he had to survive for the third game since he was in the first and second.
Is this the part where you're about to talk about the third game, the third installment?
I was gonna wait till I was gonna ask if you had anything else to say about the Arkham City.
Well, they did write. It was another small little comic book not series, but story between the 9 months of what happened between Arkham City and Arkham Knight, and it was basically talking about the whole not detox, but they were ripping up the Joker's body, autopsy. I think that's what it is. And what they found was that there was a little flash drive inside of him. And when they finally had opened them up, because they have to always do, I don't know if they do this, but I know on YouTube a lot of whatever who do the autopsies, they do a Y. So in the comic book, that's exactly what they did to cut them up, to do whatever. They found the flash drive, but a bunch of Joker gas just blasts out of him and kills all the nurses and doctors that's in there. And for like not 9 months, but a few weeks or whatever after he died, they just literally have him just laying on a table. I think in the Gotham City Police back room, because Gordon was like hiding him. And as soon as they burned him was when they did Arkham Knight. Like that's the start of Arkham Knight, is when they're pushing him in there. That's right after the whole gas drama, some other stuff that happened. So just
Oh
fun
wow,
facts.
thank you for sharing it. I had no idea. I did not know that at all. Um, yeah, wow, thank you for sharing that. I had no idea. And
It's
now
I'm
we're
telling
going.
you, people don't look at the comics, but there's so much more. I mean, in a bunch of other games, it's the same thing. The comments really make it if you take the time to find them or look for them.
Nice, nice, um, nice. So now we get to Batman Arkham Knight. Came out in 2015 for the PlayStation 4, Rocksteady Studios. Man,
Hmm.
when I say the hype around this game was
Yikes.
through the roof. This
Yeah.
hype it was amazing. And the amazing thing about it is Rocksteady Studios, as amazing as they are, they had a twist that we all knew wasn't a twist. like they tried to model it like, no, it's not what you think. It's like, we know what
It's
it
most
is. Like,
definitely him. It's most
yeah,
definitely him.
yeah, like you made it obvious. You made it obvious by not saying who it was. Like, where else were you pulling from? Like, there's nobody else to pull from. You're not going to create a new character because in the beginning, it's like it's a whole new character. Like, you're not going to roll the dice with a new character. You know,
I'm
Joel
not gonna lie,
Schumacher tried that. You know,
they they pushed me away from Joker though. Like, because I was so on the whole, I can't believe I just paid this much money for this sometimes buggy game. I don't know why. Because it was super buggy. I'm not even
yeah,
talking about Wayne Tower yet, where it's raining inside of his master room, whatever, his business room. But I don't know, for the beginning of that game, I really thought, oh, okay, this is gonna be a Joker story. No Joker at all. I didn't even really see Joker whenever we finally got to the little room where you have all those people trapped up. I still didn't think of Joker. I don't know why. I didn't put it together.
yes. We're gonna get straight to the black eye of this game, and we'll get to the good stuff. The driving missions, man. God, them driving missions slowed this game down so bad. Like the
It
whole
was
time, I
stupid.
was just like, this. Like, I understand that you had to try something new, but God, I was like, this doesn't need to be here.
It was good for a few times, like not the entire game, like the whole city. And that's the other thing. City, if they had more road for city, perfect. If they had the same type of fighting and stuff like that that's in Arkham Knight, city, great. Give me the same story, just give me, I mean, they couldn't have years in making, but give me the updated graphics and fighting that Knight gave you. City would have been, I mean, sorry, on not no comparison to any of the other games. Still great, but that would have been awesome. Um, but I mean, I don't need for like a giant map of 3 different islands, because that's what it was. I can't remember, Founders Island, Brock, whatever it was. I don't need every island to have 50 tanks. That again, the fan base hates, because it's like, if you really want to confuse or piss off Batman, why not put any humans in the tanks so he doesn't destroy them? Also, what the heck is Batman even doing with a tank? But it's in the comic books too. They tell you that was something he was doing in the comic books. But why? Why?
Because comics, it's one of those things where it says the plot says so.
You might as well just give him a gun, because why?
Yeah, because it was just like, oh, the villains, we gotta do him this favor. Don't put no men in there, just make it robots.
How did you like the racing missions?
I hated everything. I hated it all.
The racing trials, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't like racing since Jack and Dexter 4. I
Or
mean
the
the racing game, not Jack and Dexter 4, not the fourth one, but like the racing game.
you know what I forgot? What did you think about the Selena storylines when it came to Arkham City and Arkham Knight?
Very, very forced in my opinion.
You
Like it
think
really,
so?
yeah, I thought it was very forced. What did you think?
I think in well, shooting both of them. Arkham in Arkham City, I liked how it was kind of. I keep bringing up comics, but I love comic books. I like how while Batman was doing this, they also had her doing her thing, following with him. Like, this is what she was doing at that time. But in Arkham Knight, she was still Vicky Azula fighting, fighting just crazy. But they made her mission so hard. I don't know what it was. I could. It was. I mean, you're just fighting a bunch of realers, robots, but I hate. I didn't like it, because there was this one point where I think you're in like a mall and you have to like either stealthily hide around or climb on top of like the ceiling, because there's like 50 robots that you just can't fight, because they got like guns and stuff like that. You can't just go down there and choke them out or something. And it was a bit annoying, but I don't know. I like how they put her in there. I just wish, okay, you gave her a lot more time. Why not in both of the games or in all three? Because by the time Arkham Asylum came out, Robin, Nightwing, and Jason Todd was already dead. Jason Todd was already dead by Arkham Asylum. Why not flesh out their character? Do a little bit more than just make them like into a side 5-minute episode.
Yeah, like it. Like I said, man, that's the reason why I say Arkham City is the best. But we'll continue with Arkham Knight. Man, I'm glad we got the driving missions out the way. God, bro, it just seemed like every time you had a driving mission, it was like the game was just like, all right, you can't get out this car. You stuck. You better finish this mission. You stuck. Like I okay. Did you like that by the way? I know we said about the thing about being robots. Did you like the driving missions?
Oh no, I didn't. I was about to bring up the one I really hated was not even the driving time missions. I hated chasing Firefly.
Yeah,
I hated
yeah,
that. I hate that. So they did that in Origins, and then they brought it back in mm-mm.
yeah.
Origins
Firefly
I think was a little
was
bit different, but yeah, hated it.
yeah, Firefly just seemed like a character where it was like, all right, man, we need somebody to show them how to do a tutorial. Like, like this is what they're here for, you know?
What about that Mad Hatter?
Got not as good as City, but good to see him back. Like it was good to see him back.
I like that it was a little bit more detailed. I mean, because of the graphics, sure, but I like the whole book thing, and you're jumping the page while you're looking at like the strands of his hair, and he just looks like he just did the hardest drugs in the world
Yeah,
and all this mess. I like that, and
yes,
it's even interesting how they made such a world, and he's in the police room, you know,
yeah.
like that. Didn't
Plus, I
care too
like
much about Two Face though.
say it again.
I didn't care too much about Two Face.
Yeah, at this point, they was like, yeah, we just got to put him in there because he's a part, you know, he's a face that you recognize.
But what about the story? What did you like about the story?
It was just so predictable, man. Like the every story beat was just like, and it's and I just hate because Arkham City just seemed it. Arkham City really raised the level with storytelling to the point where they either could match it or try to go way above. And I think they really tried to match, and by matching it, they were still below. Like the
Yeah.
story made. I get what they were probably thinking. Like, all right, we got to prove that we can do more than just tell stories about the Joker. But I think they kind of
I think they really led. Like I said, it's a joke. It's a Joker story just as much as Batman. But how he came up when you were in there after you just met up with Scarecrow, which again at that point, who the freak is Scarecrow? Like I just knew of this guy as he's the lamp guy. Like I just need to find a flashlight. Like where's my battle light or some mess like that just to take this dude out. But he's now a baddie for some reason, and you see Jason Todd. I'm just gonna say it. You just see Jason Todd. Cool, whatever. You just coming up. I know who you are. I want to act like the greatest detective also doesn't know who you are, even though he
yeah
kind of like thinks he does, but he's just gonna act like it. But when you're putting in those what is it? Not missiles, but those little things to suppress the gas from
yeah.
exploding all over Gotham. I honestly thought that was the end of the game. I didn't know how long I was playing at that point. I felt like it was kind of like Brush, but I thought that was it. Like he was just gonna die at the end of there, and that was it. And then we played like Damien or something. I don't know.
Yes. Just to go to his first introduction, Jason Todd's first introduction, where he's standing in between glass and him and Batman. And Jason, and like they don't do anything to not make you think it's Jason Todd. Like the whole discussion that they have in the
I know
beginning,
everything you think.
yeah, it's just like, nah, this is Jason Todd. Like this it can't be nobody else, you know? So I I just don't think that I think if they just had just been like, okay, Jason Todd is back, and just even if they just did like a Red Hood storyline instead of just give him a different mask, I think that would have made everything so much easier.
You know, I keep bringing him up, but scratch Jason Todd because that's the story we know. They could have really flushed out, even though Talia al Ghul already died. They could have easily have made that Batman just like a grown up version, kind of like in the comic books of Damian Wayne. Like you don't know this Damian, but this Damian in the Arkham series, he's mad at you. All right,
Yeah,
like you in his head, you killed his mom. So I can't say anything else for the rest of the games. But with Arkham Knight, if you wanted to change like a bad villain from just somebody we know, give it to somebody that you just don't expect at all.
yeah.
Like he just takes off the mask just in front of him, and it's just his face. And then for you, you're thinking, oh, this must be Hush because they didn't do crap with Hush
No,
after City, and then he only came up for like 2 seconds on Arkham Knight. You just slammed him into a table, and that's it. But just take off the face, and you're over here thinking, like, if you're really thinking hard, oh, this is Hush, this is Hush, and he's like, well, Damon doesn't say Dad, but he's like, I hate you, father, or some shit like that. Just something where it's like, oh, and the music gets like crazy, and like, oh, I have a son now.
yes, yes. In your opinion, did this game have to be rated M?
It was.
Yeah, this game's rated M.
Oh.
I'll look it up again, but yeah, yeah, this game is rated M. This game is rated M. Yeah,
I don't know why.
yeah. I have no idea why this game is rated M. Like
Oh
I
dang.
like I have no like even when the dialogue because there's not a lot of cussing in this game. Um,
It's that.
I I can't think of any reason. Even like it came out in the
Harley
year
Quinn's
2000.
dress, maybe. Catwoman. Poison Ivy. I don't know.
I
I
mean,
can't think
compared
of a
to
reason
the,
why. I can't think of a reason why. Um.
I mean, the year is
Wow.
2015, so I'm not gonna
Oh,
act like
you
we
know
gonna
what?
guess.
It's probably because of the guns.
It wasn't guns in the other one.
Well, I mean, like you're now like killing. They're not killing, but you're a tank, maybe. Because I mean,
Yeah,
there's even suppression rounds where like if you go around, like dude, I'm sorry, rated M. I don't know. Maybe there was a reason because I know good and well if I saw like a bunch of people coming through, I will drive the Batmobile, jump out of it, just start attacking them. If I see somebody coming up, I'm just whistling for the Batmobile to come and just run them over. Like
I mean,
I
yeah,
don't know, maybe just more violent. I don't know.
yeah, that's true. In the beginning of the game, he does like put somebody's face on a wheel. So yeah,
Well, dude, how? Oh yeah, and how'd you like the one of the little mini boss missions with Jason when he was when they were underground and he was following you with that excavator or whatever, the little drill.
I thought it was a
You're just
clever
in the.
idea. I thought it was like a good idea. I thought it was like something that like that was it changed the tempo. I like that.
I freaked. I remember playing it with my 2 year old. She was with me, and the whole time she's like, "Oh no, oh no." So like even when you say it's like rated M, I'm like, maybe she shouldn't have been watching that. I don't
Bro,
know because
life
I'm over here freaking out. Like,
bro, life changed, man. We both got kids. Life has changed completely. There's some stuff I'd be like, man, everybody should be able to look at this. Now I'm just like, all right, it's my job as a parent not to let them hear or see this. Like,
yeah, but then yeah, yeah. Then God of War happens. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. Um, but Batman is sick. He's still sick. He still has the poison, and that's the only time when the Joker plays a part in this game is when he has the visions of the Joker.
Well,
For
now
those,
it's not. I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm sorry. Go on.
no, go ahead.
No, I was just. Excuse me. Sorry for that. But no, I was just saying. Like in Arkham City, it was more of it was killing him eternally, where this one is like mentally.
Yeah,
Like it's still in effects. Like you're not dying anymore from whatever he's got, but he still has like a hold on you. You know.
yeah, and and it's portrayed so well because, like you say, it's not shown a lot, so it's not like it's this like oh he's always in my mind type thing, but it's like he's there,
Yeah.
and when the Joker shows up and talks to him, it's some great storytelling in my opinion. That's the one of the few times where I'm just like, yeah, I'm glad they kept this in.
I was so annoyed at that place when the Jokers got out and God, even collecting the stuff, but when the collecting the Joker trophies. Oh my, oh no, not Joker, Riddler, because on the PlayStation 5 now, on the PlayStation 4, you had a choice to finish the game without the actual story, like the actual ending. You had a choice not to do the real missions. You could just beat up everybody else, whatever, and that's it. Well, on PlayStation 5, they were just like, no, you have to even do the real missions, do them, just to finish the game.
Oh, that's fucked
And
up.
yeah, bro, it was so messed up, man. It was it was
Yeah,
so messed up, man.
that's well,
Oh,
who there was like, yeah, let's do this. Yeah,
so it's like
that's
in every main story, you're like you want to like just speed through it and just go, but on this one, because I'm like now since I know I have to complete it, I'm over here trying to like find every nick and cranny, and then you get to like the main bosses, and I love that you can fight with Robin. Like they did pretty good with this one because now Robin is part of this, and the one I know even the most was Batman again, kind of going crazy, and that dude's like at the asylum, like the Elvis singing dude that has like a bomb trapped on him, and there's like everything is a bomb around him, and they're just spinning on this table, and it just turns into Joker singing that weird song. And I've never thought of Mark Hamill as a singer, but as Joker, cool. But it was annoying if you kept it going on.
yeah. It like I said, it's a lot of decisions they made where I'm like they're glad, and then there's a lot of decisions they made in this game where I'm just like, this shit. But I get it. You got to be different, but sometimes different is bad. I can put it like that.
Shoot, I was scared from the very beginning when this game first came out. It's actually one of the reasons why when I was dealing with GameStop, why I never do DLC's first opening or when the game first comes out, because first the game was not. You can go on reviews and they'll tell you that the game got pushed back once and that was it. Arkham Knight got pushed back twice, especially with GameStop. It got pushed back twice. And then whenever you got the DLC codes, like the season pass codes, you put it in there, but they didn't work. The very first time did not work. So you paid umpteen amount of money. I remember even because this was when everybody was still waiting out in line before COVID and stuff like that. Like I think it was like it was at 12 at one point, and then they changed it to like 11:30, I think it was, where you whatever number you were, that's where you got it. I remember there's people buying like it was like the bat belt, I think it was, and the car and the whole action figure and stuff like that. People were paying money for this stuff, but everybody was so angry. I had a few friends too where they were so angry because the season pass didn't work. Yeah, it was buggy at first.
Yeah, that's bad business. That's horrible business. I'm glad they managed to fix that. That can ruin everything right there.
Oh yeah. But the
Yes.
reason why I bring it up is because of Killer Croc. Have you ever played the DLC with
Yeah.
the man, you go from looking like just a lizard man that should be on Mortal Kombat to now Godzilla. Like, but all of that is because of that one doctor. I can't remember her name, but that one doctor just doing all these different tests. And I think she was using some of the Titan that Bane had. She was using some type of Titan on Croc. And eventually his body just mutated into that form where he was just this huge reptile that there was no sense anymore.
But it was
It
a
was
great design.
it was great. I was scared as crap, but it was great.
Yeah.
Uh, Mr. Freeze, his whole wife thing, which I never really knew, and I should have even in the comic books, but in the anime series they didn't really bring out so much with it. But with his whole wife, I thought that as soon as she got on Frozen, like there was this one comic book, as soon as she got on Frozen, she went crazy and all this mess, whatever. But I didn't know it was just like a virus, and the only reason why he froze her was to subdue the virus and just keep it down. But they did a really good thing on that one. And they also showed more on Arkham Origins too. It's weird, even though it was two teams, when you really think about Arkham Knight and Arkham Origins, it's like Arkham Origin was like the beta version of Arkham Knight. Like they were still using a few things that Arkham Knight ended up doing, but I don't know. I don't know if they just didn't have different notes or something. I don't know. They're just trying to put something together. They only had a few months to do it.
The hardest thing I read when they said about WB Montreal, the people that made Arkham Origins, was they had strict like code. Like they gave them all the code, so like the game was made to be like Arkham City. Like it was had the same codes. The only big pullback they had was they had a big note that was saying nothing can be as advanced as Batman Arkham Asylum. So like the technology can't be advanced, his moves can't be as advanced. Like he has to be like 3 levels behind Asylum. So that's what they said their biggest things was making Batman feel like Batman, but he also has to feel not as powerful as the Batman.
No, he
We
wasn't
see.
he wasn't Batman. He wasn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's if you've never seen A Long Halloween. I mean, they do more in the comic books, but if you've never seen the Long Halloween movie, see it because I'm telling you, like the Batman Arkham Origins is literally, like I said, he just got out of Bat High. Like this is him.
In
Not
year
knowing
one.
year zero, really.
Yeah.
Like really year zero, because the only villains that he had at that point was uh uh not even Harvey Dent wasn't even he was the district attorney. He wasn't even a villain at that point. The only one he really had was Cobblepot and uh Black Mask. That was basically it. That was all
Yeah.
his stuff. He was dealing more with political and the mafia. I think he even had the Falcons and stuff like that. Harley, not Harley, but Catwoman's family or whatever.
Yep. Um, so we get towards the end, and be real with me, man, and we may disagree. This dialogue is horrible at the end of this game. Like this, like none of these. They have emotional scenes that just aren't emotional.
Mm, well, no, because again, it just doesn't. It didn't make any sense. Like, I still don't believe. I didn't like that Jason changed so quickly. I didn't like that. I understand it, but I didn't like it. I felt like that was a huge change. Um, I was about to say when Scarecrow put the toxin back in Batman and now Batman changed it, like the Joker was out, so now it's his fears.
Yeah,
I was about to say there was this one part in there where you just see like a bunch of Batman statues, and they did it 3 times in this game. You see the bunch of shit statues, and you just shooting it, just shooting it, just shooting it out of nowhere. The real Batman jumps at you. I screamed. I ain't gonna lie. I freaked out on that one. Another one was your Gordon, your Commissioner Gordon, and you go to this little place where Batman has all those people that are sick in there, and you're just going to every like little screen, like I can't believe Batman's doing this. Like, how does he have these people in there? And then you just take a left, and there's just giant, Batman just standing out in front of you. And I was listening to some on YouTube too, where I wasn't the only one. It was kind of like it put you in like the shoes of the villains. Like you think that everything's good, and you just turn around and there's like this 6.2 foot bat thing looking right at you. You're not even prepared. Like you're the one with the gun, but you're not even prepared. Or just think about just standing there, think about your own family, and you just see this giant like bat knuckle coming around you. The next thing you know, you just knocked out. Gives you no time. And then the one that I know no one can get on YouTube or wherever this is streamed and say that they never jumped. I know everybody jumped when that bat jumped out, the man bat. I know
yeah,
everybody did.
yeah.
Oh,
It just you just did not expect that to happen. Like that's and I guess they did that because
I think it
it
was
was
more the screech.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it was more the
yes.
screech.
Um the
But even
mansion
him,
is
sorry.
no, go ahead.
I was I was just gonna say even him, his story is just so sad. Like he wasn't a villain or nothing. He just transformed himself into a man bat, killed his wife, and then most of the night he was just flying around. But he wasn't even a villain. He had to go to jail for the murder. But there's some of these stories when you really look at it, it's like okay, just like that common criminal that we were talking about earlier, where they were just about their families. A lot of them didn't just start off as I want to just be a bad guy. Like they were doing it for some reason. And I'm not trying to sympathize with any villain. I'm just saying before Batman came, I'm just doing this and this is it. Even Harvey Dent, he was going in there for political reasons. Joker messed that up. And why is Joker there? Because Batman's here. And I'm not saying it's just him. I'm not at all saying Batman is the cause, but you know, if you're not going to kill them, put them in the Phantom Zone or something. I don't know.
Exactly. Um so you have seen the ending though, right? Like you say you have beat the game?
Oh yeah, I've beaten the whole game.
Okay. The when he says when he calls Alfred and he tells him whatever the code is to blow up the mansion, um, the
Nightfall.
first, yeah, Nightfall. Before that happens, did you go straight to back home or did you play the game a little bit more the first time?
Um. The very first time. Oh yeah, the very first time. Yeah, because I didn't have to do the riddle. I'm telling you right now, on PlayStation 5, you have to finish everything, every like side mission, every riddler. You have to finish it. So yeah, but the first time I did it, no, as soon as I could take off that cow, I wanted to finish the game. I didn't pay for the game.
True. Uh, so to see that, the mansion explodes, and we be real with me, he's still Batman, so I understand. But there's no way he got to the Batcave in 3 seconds. It explodes as soon as the door closes.
Knowing him, he probably had like some type of pod in there. But I don't know if he's not dead, then I would hate for them because I think it was either this game or Arkham Asylum came out. It might have been Arkham Asylum because Christian Bale's Batman was just doing his thing. And remember at the end of that trilogy, he also flew out into space,
Yeah.
blew up. Um, I don't know,
Never,
because
never
how do you get out
showed
of that?
him jumping out. Never saw a
Never
dip in
showed.
the water. No
Never showed.
splash in the water. Nothing.
But
There's
he's in
no.
Italy or somewhere eating it with, so I don't
Yeah.
know if
Yeah.
they did, cool. But at this point, even at the very ending, like, have you seen the ending where it was like Nightmare Batman or something?
Yeah.
And yeah, just all that. I don't know. I don't know if there's still like a bunch of fear toxin around. Shoot, people think it's Batman, but it could be just Jason Todd.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And they apparently have a game coming out.
Yeah, but this one's completely different from that series.
Oh, okay. Okay. I thought they would continue riding the same wave. Okay.
For some reason, it still looks like he's dead, but I heard some rumors, don't quote me, that he might still be alive. He's just hidden somewhere in this one. But this one is a completely different game than what was over there. I mean, a lot of this is mainly co-play from what I'm hearing.
Okay.
But yeah, but it's nowhere, not the story at all. From
Nice.
what was told to the public, it's not the same story.
Nice. Nice. I'm gonna ask you to rank these games in order from worst to best.
Okay, graphic wise, Night, Arkham Knight. But it would be it would be Arkham City, Arkham Knight, Arkham Asylum, and Origins kind of the same thing. I don't know. I don't like how close it is.
Nice.
They're both pretty close, but yeah, it would always be City. City's always first. Now,
Nice.
costumes wise though, um, I would say Arkham Knight, because if you play the game twice, and you don't have to do the whole combo thing I was telling you about, but if you play the game twice, because they do New Game Plus now, you can now get like this. I mean, it's just bragging rights, but when you complete it, his bat emblem is now gold. So he has like a black suit, but now with gold, type of uh I don't know, metal. So it looks pretty nice, but that's one of those things where, just like you said, you already know everything. So after you beat it one time, you'll probably wait like 3 months, 4 months, maybe a year to even try to go get that.
Okay. It kind of looks like the Michael Keaton Batman a little bit, or it's like way more gold.
It's the same. It's the same Mark II, whatever version you want to call it. It's the same bat suit that you get in the game when you're learning the whole. Oh gosh, dude, the fear takedowns. My God, it's the same one, but it's just a different coat. But I mean, if it's not that I like playing with, I love playing with uh the Batman versus v Superman costume or skin. I feel
Yeah.
like I play that Batman better than the actual Daredevil dude. I feel like I played him better in Arkham Knight than he
Nice.
did Batman versus Superman.
Nice. Do you believe that these games will hold a place forever in pop culture?
Um, I believe in the gaming world, sure, but I mean, it's just I feel like they will hold a place. And to me, it's not literature, but it's just like a story. It's just like a movie. I mean, it's going to be part of the film culture. This is a legacy. This is something that was previously attempted by some games that it finally nailed it by the time it got to Night. Maybe not story at all, but they finally nailed it to the point that now you even have games like Marvel Spider-Man and Miles Spider-Man and a few others. Like, they're about to have another Spider-Man come out. Can't wait for that one. But a lot of games that still use the same method and techniques, and maybe have little gadgets. It's always a little different because it's always a different game, but I feel like it's going to hold. If people forget about it 30 years from now, the games that they would be playing, this is its godfather. Like, this is the father of it.
Yeah, of course. Is there anything you'd like to say about the series? Anything else?
I feel like I'm missing a lot. Um, the series in a whole, perfect. I mean, I still don't like Origins, but I mean, I love stories. I'm the same person that will play Uncharted the whole four over and over and over again. I hate that when it comes to Batman, like the VR, the VR games or the device games, whatever, the phone games, they all sucked.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where some of them give you a little bit of a backstory of what's happening in Gotham that you may not have known. So somebody who actually played the device game and went through the whole game, they could be like, oh yeah, I remember this. Whereas with you, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna beat this one bad guy. But in the game, he was probably like an important bad guy to that game, who has a name, a whole family, and all that mess. But you just don't know unless you play that.
Yes, yes, guys. I promise you, guys. Please, please, please go on YouTube and look up the dialogue. That shit is priceless. Just like I miss my kids. Just wow, like you don't miss them no more. You missing teeth now. That's it's not that funny. My bad. I don't know. You just gotta see it, buddy. It's just. I mean, who wrote that? Like, who was like, "Hey, we need these lines in the game"? Nah. People ain't gonna pay attention to them anyway. Put them in. I only got 3 more months. Just oh, yeah, no, you're gonna be spend the rest of them in the hospital. Uh, cool, cool, man. Well, thank you so much, man, for coming on and reviewing the Batman Arkham series, man. Nobody else I'd rather review it with. Also, thanks again for playing the games over again. I mean, you was like, no, I gotta play all of them. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Oh yeah, guys. I mean, he already had it planned for this month, but I told him the first time, like, dude, I have to get all these games ready. I just want to get refreshed. Even today, I had to refresh myself on a little bit of knowledge just to make sure that I got it. I feel like I missed a lot. So a lot of the Batman people out there, I'm sorry, especially when it came to the story of the actual games. Because I know we kind of like rushed around there and didn't really go to all the side missions or
Oh yeah,
really talk to the people. But you know,
yeah.
it's a
We,
hours
we yeah, we did
podcast.
a yeah, we did an hour and 30 minutes. We good. We good. If we broke down everything, it would take we have to do it like multiple
Oh, dude,
episodes.
shoot, part two.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. All right. Thanks again, man, for doing this with me. Thank you guys for
No
watching and
problem.
listening, and have an amazing day.